Good evening, everyone. I have at this moment everything going against me. Jyoti started saying Sacred Sunday evening, and I have, I promise you, Chandra, I have read this book, reviewed, written notes on it. Okay. An incredible book, which, as Saundarya said, I start wondering, isn't this something, the idea which has come, which nothing can stop, the time for which has come. And topping it all, I have a wonderful speaker, Soundarya, speaking before me. Now, that is a challenge. Okay. But I have to admit that I'm up to challenges. But what is really important is I thought, Chandra, when I started talking to you, I had several questions to him about the book, the why and how of the book. And believe me, he had an answer for every one of my questions. And the answer was a very happy answer. Then I said, this is a book that I would like to be a part of. And I was very happy to say that I would like to come for this event. But then I thought, instead of this book is not a conventional book, it's more a conversational book, a book which speaks like it's a conversation with you. The book speaks with you, with the reader. And it is also a conversation of the book which it is having with the environment around. So I thought, with your permission, Chandra, that I would like to make this presentation of mine a conversation with you. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely.
Okay. When I read this book, when I started reading this book, my first question was, why should I read this book? Believe me, I had a lot of questions, and இந்த திருவிளையாடல் டயலாக் வரும்ல, கேள்வி கேட்கறது ரொம்ப ஈஸி, பதில் சொல்றது கஷ்டம்னு. ஸோ ஐ ஹேட் ஆல் தீஸ் கொஸ்டின்ஸ், அண்ட் சம் ஆஃப் தீஸ் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஆஃப்டர் ரீடிங் த புக் I got answers. Okay. But I thought it would be a good experience for us if I can have the answer from the horse's mouth.
Absolutely.
And maybe I'll be able to add to the answers you have, because I think I've really loved this book. Okay. The first question obviously is, why should I read the book? So I asked this question. I come from a very non-VU of a VUCA environment. I come from a hardcore government organization. And I come from an organization which cares for stability, which is the real bolt and nut industry, that is railways. So there is a lot of CA in my career. So I started asking this question, first question, who is this book for? Before I ask you for the answer, I'll tell you. I have a son who is beginning his career now in a very unconventional industry in today's terms. Is it for him? I have a nephew who is in the top 4 consulting, and he is not happy despite an excellent performance. Why he is not able to advance? I have a husband who is running an IT industry and who realizes that he may have to send some people away, and he is very, very unhappy about it. And he also has a commitment saying that 30% of his staff strength would be people who will not generally be accepted anywhere, people with disability or people with language or people from tier 4 cities and all that. So he now says, how do I work around that commitment which he made to himself? Or I have a niece who had taken the break that Soundarya was talking about, and she wants to re-enter, and this is probably not the right time to re-enter. Who is this book for?
This book is for everybody.
You also add me, who is going to retire shortly and looking at doing something completely different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, no career is complete if you don't give back to the society. No career is complete if you don't leave a legacy behind. Wow. So a lot of senior professionals who are out there should actually start planning. Honestly, I wanted to quit my job at 50 and I did at 49 and a half. I said 10 years I'm going to use for this society. What is it that I can do more than that, but I'm saying at least next 10 years, I want to focus on the society. What did I not have? What is it that I can give back to the society? So pretty much my focus was that.
Good. So all of us have something to read in this book. And that's the feeling I got. And when I read this book, I want to add to it. When I read this book, I realized that the same passage, which is being read by two different persona in terms of career, will be reading two different meanings from it. So I would like to congratulate you on that point. Second question, you have talked about the conventional mirror compass concept. Have you touched upon the environment? What, I mean, it is not all what is inside you, it is something which is outside also matters. How have you built it into this book?
Let me think on that.
Well, I can answer that question, but should I wait for your answer or should I go ahead?
Go ahead, let me add on to it, please.
Okay, so now we are reversing our roles. In fact, what I've realized is that you have touched upon this dimension of, I may be a great musician, and that is my calling. I know that. But is there a market outside for musicians today? I'm just giving a question. I was wondering, is this book addressing that question? And I found that yes, in the second half of the book, you have talked about how to use the skills to bridge to the environment outside. So you did answer this question, because these are the questions I asked myself before I read this book. And then I had this question, this is not a very easy topic. So how do you make, how did you calculate how to make the book interesting?
I am a Marcom professional. So my entire life, I have been working with people in crafting communications, be it leadership, all employee, or even to the market. So this was probably one of the easiest. And then I also broke down. I said we're going to have Gen Z audience, we're going to have Gen X. So I said, how can I make every piece of this book interesting to different set of audience?
That was my worry. You know, if I'm going to gift this book, I wanted to gift this book to my son. And the attention span, we know, is not very great. Will he be able to pick up this book? And then I realized the trick of the trade that Chandra has used here is to make short chapters and have that chapter, each chapter telling one point and not more than that, and each of them added with, you remember my question when we talked about it, it has a case study, it has something which attracts a cricket or a music or a public personality put to it, and it has questions which Gen Z would like to answer to know where they are. Then I was just thinking, this is my last question, please bear with me. I hope this is my question that I had, is that, are we talking about the elite industry in this book? This is a very genuine question I had. As I said, I come from a nut and bolt industry. I am actually at the receiving end of these career shifts. Because of all these uncertainties that we see in the modern careers, so-called, quote unquote, people end up wanting to come and join government. I am in that industry where for every job I put out an advertisement, I have 3,000 people applying for it. And I am in that industry where every one of them wants lifelong career. I was wondering, are we actually looking at the elite careers, the IT, the high tech, the fintech, the HR tech industry? Or is it applicable to a real nut and bolt hardcore industry? I have to admit certain things here. I'm a farmer. I'm also a nut and bolt person, and I also have certain not very high tech industries also. So how do you think this book relates to those people?
Well, the elite industry probably get affected the first. Then comes the nut and bolt industry. But then look at the way automation has taken over. A lot of, if you look at the history, right, a lot of labor, I shouldn't say manpower, human personnel were replaced by machines. Sooner or later, this is going to come. we don't even, I mean, look at radiology for a matter. Today, AI is able to read scans. They're saying dermatologists and radiologists are the two people who are going to be most impacted by AI when it comes to medical fraternity. So every department, every industry is going to soon get that way because everybody wants to reduce the labor cost and the trouble that comes from labor, the unions, etc., etc. Sooner or later, and Government of India has already done many such initiatives in the past. They've constantly been reducing. A lot of industries have been privatized as well, including airlines that we see today. So sooner or later, this is going to happen. So don't wait for it to happen. Be prepared.
Good one there. Really, let's give him a big hand for his skills. I do understand because I'm leading probably, I mean, definitely India's largest AI, digital AI program, which is covering, she said, 1.25 employees and 1.5 million retirees. Okay. And I know the value of AI and I know what impact it is giving to my people. I do agree, but I also was mildly very impressed. I wanted to bring this out, point out about a person from a high-tech industry moving over to an EMT technician. So the change that we are talking about doesn't have to be only technological change, it also have to be internal. So that is something which I learned. So to quickly, so this cliche is that there is always room at the top. We always heard it. Is there really a room at the top? Always room at the top? Can we trust that and go ahead where the heart leads you? Because you have been a strong advocate of that in the book. What would you say? Can I trust and say there is always room at the top? If I am good at whatever I choose, I will be?
Not necessary.
Mm.
There can be situations, you may not have the environment to support you. A lot of women actually feel that at the workplace. When I say workplace, this is at home as well, not just work.
Okay, but I have to tell you, having grilled, sorry, I know you didn't bargain for this when you called me. Sorry about it. I hope none of you have any objection to this grilling. Do you? No? Okay.
Do I pass my thesis today? do I get my PhD today?
The result is what I'm going to talk about. Yes. Finally, I loved reading this book and I'm placing my first order with you right away for the 3. My son, my nephew and niece, I'm buying 3 copies right now. Okay. But I also will recommend it to my railway libraries. Right. So that is my promise of what Saundarya asked us to do. But what I have to tell you is, what did I gain by reading this book? You have passed with flying colors. I have to say that as an author myself, I've learnt how to make a niche, complex subject simple layman's read. This is my first learning from this book. You've done a fab job of that. And I'm a speaker, and that is where I'm going to infringe copyrights, because I said every para has some line which I can quote. So I really wanted to tell you that yes, I have gained by this. So that's something which I have learned. And I really loved some of your examples. For example, your wardrobe concept about career fit. I really loved it. Okay. I think I'm going to tell my son that this is it. Third, small is beautiful. I've learned that making smaller chapters has gripped attention, and the advantage is you can always pause and come back to a chapter which you want to. So that is an advantage. So I've learned that. And again, how to tailor careers. See, I may be telling that I'm from a hardcore nut and bolt industry, but here also we have huge challenges of redistributing positions because of technological change. And when I say redistributing positions, I don't mean 100 or 200. I talk in terms of tens of thousands of positions we need to redistribute. That is railway for you. I've learnt a lesson on sensitivity, and I'm going to really implement that. leading this manpower planning, I think I've got a lot of things to gain from you. The fourth thing is you are using multi tools to evaluate the impact of each chapter. So I really appreciate you. And as I said, I am going to liberally quote examples from your book. And please, for the sin of inviting me here, you will have to give me that privilege. Okay, I'll quote you. I will give you credits. Okay, so that is another thing. As an author, these are the things I've learned, and I've right now told my husband his next book is going to be on, as he said, ISO 2000, 20,000, whatever thousand it is. So I told him, please follow this model. It makes a lot of sense. So I have started there itself. And coming to the subject, when the ground shifts under you, you are looking to holding on to something which is stable. You are looking for something to hold on to. And when what you are looking to hold on to is not going to exist because the ground has shifted and the sky is not going to be the same, the only thing that you can hold on to is yourself. And that is beautifully portrayed by this book. And great, many congratulations for bringing out a great book. It is a good read for all of us, and I will strongly urge us to do our best to make this book a big success. Okay, and great best wishes, congratulations, and have a great day from now on. Okay, thank you and Jai Hind.